true story of a man being forged in the fire. Let me take you back to 2011. I made the call to head out to Alberta, diving headfirst into the oil fields. I didn't know what I was getting into. I just knew I was going. I hit the ground running, knocking out every single ticket I needed to be on that site. H2S Alive, CPR, First Aid, WHMIS. I did everything by the book, but the books don't tell you what it's actually like when you're standing in the middle of it. I remember getting that first call. I went out, worked a 6-hour shift, and came back thinking I'd handled it. But the reality of that life hit me like a freight train. I was so exhausted that I was standing in the shower, literally falling asleep on my feet, dead to the world, when the phone rang. I had to rip myself out of the water, heart pounding, jumping to answer it. It was the call. You're back out in 30 minutes. No time to recover. Just gear up and get back on the road. That became the life. Hour after hour in the truck, riding along with the guys, and that's when the real test began. I was the city boy, the white guy. I was a target. They rode me hard. They picked at me, constantly telling me I was weak, telling me I wouldn't make it, trying to beat the spirit out of me every single mile of that road. They were waiting for me to break, waiting for me to quit. But I didn't. I didn't argue, I didn't complain, and I didn't fold. I just kept my mouth shut and did the job. I worked harder than anyone else, even when I didn't know if I had anything left in the tank. I was learning on the fly, exhausted, pushed to the brink, but I was showing up. Then, about 5 or 6 weeks into that grind, everything changed. The guy who was leading the pack, the biggest, toughest, most intimidating First Nations guy on the crew, he calls me up. He tells me to come over to his house. I'll be honest, I was nervous. I didn't know what was waiting for me. When I pulled up, he had 2 massive Rottweilers in the yard. These dogs were huge, aggressive, barking their heads off, circling me. I was genuinely afraid. For a split second, I thought, is this it? Is he setting me up because I didn't break? I walked into that yard scared, but I didn't turn around. I didn't run. I stood my ground. The moment I did that, the whole room, the whole atmosphere shifted. That guy walked right up to me, looked me dead in the eye, and held out his hand. He gave me a grip that was as hard as the work we'd been doing, pulled me in, and put his arm around my shoulder. He looked at me and said, "Welcome to the team, brother." In that 1 second, I realized that I hadn't just survived. I had earned them. All that hardship, all the exhaustion, all the guys calling me weak, it was all just a test to see what I was made of. I fought through the pain, I stayed strong, and I proved that I was one of them. That's when I became the man I am today. It taught me the only lesson that matters. You never let people put you down. You don't quit. You keep your head down, you work harder than everyone else, and you stand your ground, because that is the only way you earn your place in this world.